is kind of a Bob Ross type brush and sounds video. I can stare at Bob Ross videos all the time, and there's something about that brushing, that gentle demeanor, it all adds to that perfect ASMR experience. So I have a variety of paint brushes with me today. They're all about this size. I did think about going completely bonkers and just going and getting a huge one, maybe sometime in the future, just so it could really go over the top. But this is what we're going for today. I'm not sure if it was my last video. I think it was the one before, and that was a very, very spontaneous video with snip sticks, and with the snip sticks and the sticks came this rushing, foamy sound, and that to me was really pleasing, and it felt kind of like a sound that would be really ASMR inducing. It's that beachy waves sound. So that combined with the Bob Ross brushes is quite a cool ASMR sound mixture. Being a fan of both Beaches and Bob Ross, we're on a winning combo there. Beaches and Bob Ross. It was a sound which I noticed created quite a nice effect when I was kind of in post editing everything together. So this video is purely and entirely dedicated to brushes and foam and lots of this pleasing sound from different angles using different textures. This one seems a bit more stony as opposed to the other one, which we started off with. And you can notice that the textures on these are very different, which makes it really good for creating ASMR sounds and rubbing things on it and brushing things, and yeah, it is kind of transparent and looks quite cool, like a spider's web, but a really deep one, dense one, I mean, like Shelob created it from Lord of the Rings. But actually makes quite a nice sound. just sounds so nice and relaxing. Even that pulling apart sound is just a really nice sort of sticky sound, and it sits well in my head. That's it. Just keep nice and relaxed there, and let this work its magic. The beach sounds presented in a different form. And I hope that this kind of blocks out the sound on the other side, so you get more of a personalised binaural experience. Maybe, I don't know. I just really wish that I could paint and I could just stand there and do the whole Bob Ross thing and just make it as binaural as possible and get the microphone really in there and just make some visual magic and not just make it the sound effects. Let's get a bit closer. thing with this is the ocean sounds. Those are just really easy, and it's kind of addictive for me. It could be a potential strong trigger for me, I think. So this combined with the Bob Ross painting, like Bob Ross style blushing video at a sandy beach would just be my idea of ASMR heaven, I think. What about your left ear? I'm going to it. This is intended for both ears, where both ears get just as the same amount of attention as each other. It's only till now that I've just realised a pocket was there, which makes it very useful now. That has made me incredibly happy. So the idea of this is to keep a nice continuous flowing sound, so it feels like the sound doesn't end. There's no points of ending. So that is why it is rubbed around in this way, just so you have nice flowing textured sounds. It was a bit of a surprise for me that the foam and the brushing, along with snip sticks, were received so well. It really just was an idea. I didn't mean it to sound as nice as it did. So it's just manipulating the sounds in a way so they create different sounds and they sound completely different. So this one's more good for the body rubbing, but I had the perfect piece of foam, which will, I'm sure, suit your needs for brushing. It's kind of like this little bit here. So we'll get our brush. That's it. You sound pretty good. What's that left here? We're coming right over. As promised. I'd like to think that I was Bob Ross and I could just paint as good as him. But he's one of those people which, for me, really made me wonder what was that addictive quality which just kept me watching. And it sounds like this. And movements like that, and a touch of this, and a touch of that. Oh goodness, we're rhyming again. So, I think we can change over our little foam piece to something a little bit bigger. And maybe we should go for a slightly different brush. I have my 38mm, and now I have my 1/2 inch. And you just got a little foam box here, and I'm just going to massacre the Canadian accent. I know he's from Alaska, but I don't know where he's from. And heck, we're just gonna keep brushing. Son of a gun. And have a happy little brush there. That's it. There it goes. There it is. And heck, why not have something like that grown in? That's my poor brush. trigger your left ear with the sounds of brushing on this big old, or slightly larger foam box. This is kind of just purely nice and simple sounds mixed together to hopefully induce, trigger, enhance your ASMR sensations and triggers like this. And we'll go back. Big long strokes and little strokes, just like a Bob Ross painting. I've got to stop referencing him, but I suppose I drew some inspiration from him for this video, just so we can incorporate some brushing on a kind of canvas effect. Okay. So I think your left ear has had enough care and attention for the moment. So we will go to your right ear and look after it. Give it some ASMR TLC. And try and get some triggers over this side. So I think for me it's the nice long strokes which kind of feel like I'm about to trigger, but of course I can't trigger myself. But if someone else was doing this, then I feel like I would be getting triggered. And we go a little bit close and dab. I like dabbing as well. Is that dance thing I think that kids do or something? Dabs. But kind of traditional paint brush dabs. I just really wanted to focus on these sounds and present it in. Well, there's another one. But present it in kind of a different way, which was nice and up close and personal. So you can kind of get a nice close-up experience of these sounds. I think we'll try a slightly bigger brush. So we'll try the 38mm. Just that small brush. It's very dear to me. I've always kept it for ASMR videos because it looks nice. Has a good texture to it. So we'll get some longer strokes going. And little dabs. time, there's, I think, International ASMR Day, which I should know what day it is, but I don't. It's some time in April, one would imagine. And there is an event from an old good friend of mine, and you probably watched our videos. But those of you who could kind of guess what I'm talking about, then I was thinking about on the day of the event, just gate crashing it a little bit, maybe, but of course going to the event, but to support a friend, and very unique idea. For those who know or can guess what I'm talking about. That was just a little thought I had when I was watching the announcement video for it. It's a really neat idea. And it's a way to experience ASMR in a different environment, in a more actual world, if that makes sense. Okay. So, right to left, and left to right. So we'll just go back with that sort of tingly, sandy, beachy sound. It's just the way it flows for me. It's something I feel like I could just zone out to, or binge watch, like Bob Ross and his beaches. So I think I might title this one Bob Ross and Foam Beaches, maybe, but probably not. But if I did, then that's a shout out to you. think that maybe a fully clothed phone massage could be on the table. Ideas just come from nowhere, and I write them all down so I don't forget. I hope that you enjoyed Bob Ross and Foam Beaches, and the full video which is dedicated to this lovely ASMR stuff, which sounds so good. I think this is my favourite tool for ASMR at the moment. Sounds so good in many different ways. Too many textures. So I'm not even entirely sure where I got it from, but it works for me, so I hope that it's given you plenty of ASMR tingles. And it's one of those sounds which, like watching Bob Ross, you can binge watch and just keep repeating it and enjoying it until it fills you up with loads of tingles until you realised you've watched it about 20 times and you start